Hey, what is up? It is time for my October wrap up, and I only read two books this month, which is better than September, which I read zero books, but still not great. So hopefully, November, we'll just keep going back up again. So the first book I read was Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, and I really enjoyed this book. It was written by Charles Dickens as a serial between 1860 and 1861 and follows Pip, who is a young orphan that lives with his abusive older sister and her husband Joe, who Pip is like best friends with, but it's very weird like family dynamic. He falls in love with a girl, Estella, while visiting a rich older woman called Miss Havisham, and then finds out through a kind of secret source that he's going to come into lots of money. So he moves to London, and we follow him as he becomes a sophisticated gentleman. However, this like new reality all comes crashing down once he realizes the source of his funds, which is referred to as his Great Expectations, hence the name of the book. So that's the best summary of the plot I can really give without giving too many spoilers. I went into this book pretty blind, and I'm really glad I did, because there's lots of different interesting reveals and like little twists and stuff that Dickens writes into the last third of the book, especially, and like lots of like different little stories and stuff from throughout the book all are tied together really well. The last third was like really engaging and interesting, but my problem with Great Expectations was that I don't know, maybe the first 2/3, it was kind of a slow burn. Like for a while it felt like not much was happening, and there was one point I actually like looked up on Wikipedia. I was like, okay, what's coming next? Because I really did not know where the book was going. So the highlight of the book to me was the characters. Pip himself, so our main protagonist, is very layered and flawed, which makes for a really interesting protagonist, obviously, and the way he changes and starts to treat the people from his like old life once he comes into the money is actually really sad to read, but I guess really true. Once you come into money, you are going to change, you're going to treat people differently. But he does have a redemption arc, which was very satisfying near the end of the book. My favourite character was Miss Havisham, who is a like rich older woman who lives in the town, and she was left on her wedding day by her fiance and has never like left her house since. She sits in her like wedding dress in the same spot with like one shoe on, one shoe off, which is exactly how she was when she found out that he had left. Her house is like infested with like rats and maggots and stuff, and the room is like laid out with like a banquet for the after party of the wedding, and it's all just like rotten food and like no one's ever cleaned it up. And I just thought that it was exactly like, not exactly, just such a like interesting character, and all of the characters in the book were written this way, which made the book really interesting and engaging. Even when the story itself was going kind of slow, the characters were also really interesting, so that like kept you going and kept you like reading, which I'm really glad about, because if the characters weren't interesting, I really don't know. Like it took me so long to get through this as it is. I started it, when did I start it? I don't know, but it took me like 3 weeks to get through, which isn't the best. So yeah, thank God the characters were engaging, because I don't know, I never DNF books, but it would have took me even longer to finish. The second book I read was The Adventures of Robin Hood by Roger Lancelyn Green, and I honestly don't have that many thoughts about this book. Also, okay, my friend for Halloween was Katniss and has this bow and arrow set, so I was like, okay, I'll use that for like the thumbnail. And I thought you would hold this part. This is just a tangent. I thought you would hold this part and go like shit. But when I was making a thumbnail, I was like, okay, I'm gonna Google just make sure. And apparently you hold this in front of you, and then like, obviously this is like felt, so it doesn't really work. Apparently you do it like that. I don't know. I mean, it's plastic and felt, but anyway, okay. Just a little side tangent on bows. So anyway, Robin Hood. So I don't have that many thoughts on it, to be honest. It's a collection of all the different like poems and short stories and plays and stuff about the Robin Hood like kind of mythos. I don't know if you call it that. Who's making bacon? I hate terms. yeah, so it's like a collection of all the different stories about Robin Hood throughout the years, like put into like one chronological story, and it's written in like modern English, which is good because the version I meant to buy when I bought this was by Howard Pyle, and that's written in Old English, and I'm actually kind of glad now I didn't buy that because I don't know if I'd enjoy it. So it's just about Robin Hood, how he kind of became an outlaw, how he made like his gang of like merry men, how they fought against King John, and I don't know. I guess it's kind of like a middle grade book, and it's very much felt like little short kind of like bedtime stories in a way. Like every chapter was like its own story with its own start, middle, and like conclusion. And I just didn't think it was that interesting, to be honest. The stories were kind of repetitive at times. It was like just about how he met certain like friends and stuff like that, and I don't know. I didn't have high expectations anyway. I didn't really know what to expect, but I just thought it was kind of boring, to be honest. And the characters were all kind of like all of his friends were all the same. His wife, Maid Marian. I don't know, isn't that interesting? Like he himself, I guess, is kind of interesting, but I don't know. I just don't really have that many thoughts on this book, to be honest. Which is kind of sad, but yeah, like I'm glad I read it. It only took me like a few days. It's 294 pages, but it's like quite big text, and there's like pictures and stuff. And what I thought was really interesting as well was at the start of every chapter, there was like an old poem or extract from a poem that the chapter's kind of like based on. Just one of the illustrations. The illustration's kind of strange as well. I don't know. I just didn't really care about that book that much. But Great Expectations, I was surprised that I really liked in the end because, like I said, it's a slow burn. Robin Hood, I had no expectations anyway. Oh my god, great. I had no great expectations of Robin Hood. Ha ha ha, funny. So, there you go. Thank you so much for watching. Kind of a rambly mess. I just honestly, like I wrote down notes for Great Expectations because I actually like had a lot to say. But Robin Hood, I honestly have no opinion on. It was just okay. So thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all the usual stuff. I'm at 350 subscribers as of today, I think, which is pretty cool. So thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.